Thank you very much. I don't know actually whether Congresswoman Sheila Lee Jackson or Congressman Bartlett was here first, but I'll go with gender. So, it's a pleasure to see you again and to welcome you. Congressman.
Congressman Bartlett is my dear friend, and I know he saw me going in and out, and I thank him for his courtesies. Senator, I thank you for your courtesies. I thank all of the panelists for their courtesies. And what I would say to you is, isn't this an exciting day and era and point in our lives when you have such distinguished public servants to my right and to your left, and the long list of members of the United States Congress who are coming here and saying, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. These are renowned members who have advocated in their own right for issues of justice. They are policy makers. They are former members of the Department of Justice, Solicitor Generals, Attorney Generals, Senators, spokespersons. This is a movement for justice. And I think it is enormously important. I have a number of notes here, but I'm going to really speak from the heart. First of all, let me congratulate the Foreign Affairs Committee for the unanimous amendment of my good friend Ted Poe that established a placeholder, a marker for the protection of Camp Ashraf, and as well the insistence of the United Nations being in place in Iraq to protect them for now and forever. That is an important policy statement. And it is your advocacy and leadership that has advocated consistently and with persistence. And how can you not? When you see the visuals of the massacre, how can you not fall to your knees? For some lay prostrate on the ground with the sheer violence and insensitivity. Right now, I am seeing the visuals as I speak. And so we have to be able to convey that to the other thinkers and policymakers and members of Congress and other leaders who can be part of the solution. And I think it is important to extend a hand of friendship to all peoples in the world. But it is also important not to ignore the kind of disrespect for human dignity that the Iranian leadership has poisoned the world with, so much so that we live in fear of their potential nuclear capacity, and the interfering or the connection between the Iraqi government and Iran so that nothing they can do, not even make peace with their own people in Iraq. They can't even make peace because they're so overwhelmed and dominated by a foreign government that has no intent for good purposes. Let's call it like it is. Iran is interfering and running Iraq, and it is causing the violence that is happening as we speak. And that is why Camp Ashraf is in the condition that it is. We need a free Iraq that can address the people that are within their confines and be open for those freedom-loving people like the people in Camp Ashraf. It is very important. So I imagine the scholars that are to my right will lay out very thoughtful positions. I just came back from the European Union, and it'd be interesting for me to speak to a number of the persons on this panel because I think we have some work to do to be able to get a better understanding of the fact that we are talking about human dignity and human rights. And I will say to you that all the peoples of the world do not have to agree with all the principles and comments about Camp Ashraf or maybe the positions of the people there. But I want to ask the question to the world family, is anyone going to stand up and deny that you are for violence and the mutilation and the disrespect of human dignity, or are you going to stand with the world and say, I may disagree with you politically, philosophically, I may challenge what you call yourselves, but I will stand against the tyrants and the tyranny of those who will undermine women and children and families and deny people health care and kill people, innocent people. Does the world stand against that? And that's what we're asking them to do, to stand against that kind of insensitivity. We're also asking that we move quickly on the determination of the MEK to have the ability to be free and to advocate and not to be characterized in a way that they have been characterized. We want to encourage our government to make a decision quickly after the court decision to be able to allow people to speak freely and to advocate for the needs of their people. So I conclude my remarks by indicating that it is important that Camp Ashraf not be relocated. It's important that the United Nations, with many, many responsibilities, views this as an issue and a cause destined for the United Nations mission. It is important that Iraq stand up as a world leader, and when I say that, as a now new country coming into the family of world nations with leaders who you would hope by and large would be those who respect human dignity. It is time for the Iraqi government to accept the gift that was given to them. The treasure that was lost of American lives was not lost frivolously. It was lost for democracy. It was lost so that people could live in choices that they make, not that they are under the oppressive hand of another government of which we thought we were not creating. So I think it is important that Iraq accepts that challenge for all of those who agreed or disagreed in this country about that action. And so I believe it is important to support Congressman Filner, my friend's resolution. I join him in that. But I also believe, as I expect to introduce a resolution to be able to ask the International Criminal Court to investigate and charge individuals with offenses against human dignity and the people at Camp Ashraf. I believe that that is an important step. So I hope Thank you. I hope you will encourage our fellow colleagues to support that legislation. I'm a quick study. It doesn't take me long to sort of get it. And I'm delighted to stand here with such a distinguished member of Congress as those who have gone before me, but also Congressman Roscoe Bartlett. I leave the stage by saying we have faith too. We are in different religions in this country. And there are many of us that are in unique religions. And wouldn't it be sad or different or smaller that our government would seek us out? That is not the cause of a democracy. The cause of a democracy is to affirm our uniqueness, our difference, our faith, and our opportunities and our possibilities. Thank you all so very much for being part of championing all of what these values mean to all of us. Thank you.